My sincere greetings to all of you from the Govardhan Eco Village of the Galtare village, Mumbai. It's like I said earlier, it's one of the most beautiful, lovely places. And I've been here for a little over 2 weeks now, and today I returned back to Mumbai. And I've been working on some projects here and doing Facebook Live sessions for the 21 Days Habit Challenge from here. So I really want to wish you all a very good morning and greetings to all of you who are logging in from all different parts of the world. And thank you all for joining us this morning for the Facebook Live session. A quick recapitulation of what we heard yesterday. Yesterday we heard how self-realization and God realization can be very powerful and effective means of how we can deal with our bad habits, negativities and challenges. We heard how beyond the senses is the mind, beyond the mind is the intelligence, but even when we go beyond the intelligence, we find the spirit, the soul, the Atma. And the more we log into, tap into, tune into the capacity of the soul, of ourself, we feel empowered to deal with our mind. And then we heard that sometimes even the soul feels completely helpless because the mind has become so powerful over such a long period of time. And if you remember, we heard the example of the car, the taxi driver, and the co-passenger. This is when we connect to God and tap into the power and the grace of God, then dealing with our negativities and challenges becomes very simple and easy. And this is why spirituality, we heard, is the art of connecting ourself with the super self, connecting our soul with the super soul, connecting our Atma with the Paramatma. And when we make that divine connect through a spiritual process, then we can deal with our minds more effectively. So this is what we heard yesterday. Dhruvesh, very good morning to you. Thank you for being with us. Yuvraj, Hare Krishna and Merry Christmas to all. Actually, I wish all of you a very, very happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Firoz, all the way from Chandigarh, thank you for joining us. Kumar, we're very happy to have you. Isabel, Jermaine, very, very nice to see you. Ravi, let's be like the Christmas tree. Yeah, we have to probably be like a Christmas tree, a tree, tolerant and going through all the challenges and seasons, but always giving shade and serving others. Abhishek, thank you for joining us all the way from Argentina. Shubha, thank you for being with us. Lakshman, thank you for joining us this morning. Manish, we are very happy to have you. Usha, very, very happy to see you this morning. Atma, Sapna, Poonam, Shubhashish, a very good morning to all of you, and really nice to see all of you on the 20th day of our 21 Days Habit Challenge. I was invited by the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, to give a talk at their premises last year to all of their space scientists, their space engineers, and all of these wonderful people around there. They were all super successful, accomplished scientists. And here I was, a monk, talking to them about inner space. And they were telling me that we are trying to conquer outer space, but could you help us deal with our inner space? So I was invited to them to speak about inner space engineering as they were looking at outer space engineering and going into the outside space. Oh, incredible people, accomplished people, but extremely humble and down to earth, very grounded people, very gentle and nice human beings. I always say, Vijay in Sanskrit means victory, and Vinay in Sanskrit means humility. Very often people, when they are victorious, when they are accomplished, when they are successful, Vijay, then it's very difficult to keep Vinay or humility. And sometimes people who have Vinay, humility, they may not go out and really accomplish and be victorious or be Vijayi. Therefore, when we have a combination of Vijay and Vinay, victory and humility, we can do such incredible good work for the world, ladies and gentlemen. Truly, I saw these people who were very victorious, even their director, such an accomplished man, but extremely humble man. So the talk went well. It was really well received. We spoke about inner space. We spoke about what we've been discussing in different jargon, of course. And then I had a flight to catch from Ahmedabad to Mumbai at 7 o'clock in the evening. So I arrived there about 5:30 in the evening because I didn't carry any checked-in bag. So I could arrive there at 5:30, and we came to got my boarding pass, sat there, and realized that the flight was late, delayed by about 30 minutes. And not only my flight was delayed by 30 minutes, every other flight was delayed by 30 minutes as well. And the delay time kept on increasing, and people were getting frustrated. Everybody on the no flights taking off, so which means the entire airport is full of people. And there, as I was sitting, I saw a sophisticated lady dressed up in very high class business attire, and you could make out that she's a very accomplished, sophisticated woman. She came charging towards the ground staff at the gate. She came literally charging and started yelling and shouting abuses, swear words at them. She started saying, "How can you do this? I have to go right now. Why is the flight delayed?" And the ground staff, they were like simple Gujarati people. And in Gujarat, in India, based on the different states, people get a certain accent and a dialect in their English. So she was like kind of in Gujarati English trying to say, "Nahi, it's not in our control, what can we do? There's some technical goof up. It's not just your flight. All other flights are delayed as well." And she was speaking such broken English, Gujarati accented, and this lady was speaking such sophisticated, high class, refined English. Like sometimes I say, one Gujarati friend of mine, he was asking me once, "Prabhuji, do we have snakes in the hole today?" So I said, "What does he mean?" I mean, snakes are always in the hole, right? So he's asking me, are there snakes in the hole today? Then I got to know that actually he was asking, are there snacks in the hall today? Because in their Gujarati accented, because he was really from a remote area of Gujarat, so in his Gujarati accent he was calling snacks snakes, and he was calling hall hole. So he was asking me, are there snakes in the hole? So I thought snakes are always in the hole, but what he meant actually was, are there snacks in the hall? I also remember one Maharashtrian friend of mine from Maharashtra. He once came and asked me, "Please, can you give me pain?" I said, "Man, why are you asking me for pain? Is there not enough pain in your life?" So he said, "No, I want pain." Then I realized actually he was asking for a pen. Now the dialect in Maharashtra here is when you say pen, you could kind of end up saying, "Can I have your pen?" or "Can I have pain?" So I was thinking he was asking for pain. So based on the particular part of India you're from, your English can be a little accented. And I always say, we should never make fun of people who speak broken language. You know why? Because they know another language. We should never make fun of people who speak broken English, because they just know another language. So anyways, I saw this lady, simple Gujarati lady, such a nice lady, speaking in her Gujarati accented English, trying to explain to this sophisticated woman how, it's not in our control, it's beyond in our control. And God, this sophisticated woman was like really, really bashing her as if it was her fault. What was the fault of that lady? Of course, I empathized with the sophisticated woman as well. Probably she had a party to attend in Bombay, a very important meeting to attend in Bombay, but so did I. Even I had a very important meeting lined up as soon as I landed. Maybe she had to take a connecting flight to go to New York from Mumbai, or maybe there was some of a family member who was in the hospital probably counting their last breaths. Who knows? Who knows what's the background for why a person reacts or behaves the way they do? I empathized with that sophisticated woman, and I empathized with that Gujarati woman as well. I empathized with her because I didn't know what was making her so angry. Maybe there was a reason. I empathized with the poor Gujarati lady because it wasn't her fault at all. And here on the airport, I found so many other people sitting there, and each of these people sitting there they must also have had so many things going on in Mumbai. Maybe someone's mother's counting her last breath. Maybe he has an important meeting to attend like myself. But they kept quiet. Some of them were reading books, some of them were eating, some were probably taking rest. And for me, I was sitting there, and because of my videos, so many people know me. So that day I probably must have given at least over 200 selfies. I mean, I'm not a selfie man, but people come to me for photos and selfies. And I don't like to hurt people. If that picture or that photograph or if that selfie means so much to them, I'm kind of okay. Although it's not me to just stand in front of the camera and take these pictures. But must at least 200 selfies, ladies and gentlemen. And so many people were coming to me, chatting with me, talking to me, discussing their problems with me. And in doing so, I realized that what's the point getting worked up? I sent a text message to the person whom I was meant to meet, said, sorry, I'm not able to going to make it because my flight is delayed. We took off at 11 o'clock in the night, all flights, after like 15-20 minutes of gap between flights, at least at 11 o'clock in the night, about 4.5 hours of a delay in that flight. And at the airport that day, I thought to myself, to live a quality life, to live a happy life, is a choice that we have to make. By default, we are going to react like the sophisticated lady. By default, our default mode is to react because something is going to go wrong all the time. By default, we are going to react. But to respond is a choice that we have to make. Some had responded by reading a book. Some had responded by talking to people. Some had responded by taking rest. They had responded, not reacted by yelling and shouting. Of course, I empathize. There must have been something serious why she was yelling. To hate is our default mode. To love, we have to make a choice. To hold grudges is our default mode. To forgive others, we have to make a choice. To lead a miserable life is our default mode because there's always going to be some issues. To lead a happy life is a choice that we have to make. To fall into the trap of our bad habits and glide down listening to that crazy mind is our default mode because we've done it for so many years. To cultivate good habits and to get out of those bad habits is a choice that we all have to make. I want to congratulate all of you for joining us for this 21 days habit challenge. It's the 20th day today. The very fact that all of you come online with so much enthusiasm every morning indicates that you have made that choice, that you don't want to live in the default mode of being negative, of reacting, of hatred, of grudges, of those bad habits, physical, emotional bad habits. You have chosen at least to understand how to improve and how to come out of those bad habits. So I congratulate all of you and I truly express my deepest gratitude to all of you for this noble endeavor that all of you have taken up. Kat, thank you again for joining us. So Suzanne, very happy that you are here with us. Mithun, good morning to you. Bharati, thank you for joining us. Hina, thank you for joining us. Rahul, very happy that you've joined us this morning as well. Shrestha, thank you for being with us. Ragam, I believe is your name. Very happy to see you. Gopal Krishna, thank you for being with us. Rupali, Merry Christmas and a Merry Christmas again to all of you as well. Deanie, oh thank you, you were telling us you don't want me to leave you. I'm not going to leave you. I'm always going to be with all of you. In fact, every 2 weeks after this, from beginning January, we will come live again, taking different topics up and discuss. Zafar Mirzazi, thank you very much for being with us this morning. I always feel habit is such an interesting word, because when you try to deal with your habits, it's quite an interesting word actually. When you work on dealing with them, when you take the H out of the spelling of the word habit, a bit still remains. When you take the A out of the spelling of the habit, bit still remains. When you take the B out of the spelling of the habit, the HAB is gone now, it still remains. And therefore, truly, old habits die hard. It's not just about 21 days, it's about the whole year and our whole life, giving ourselves to come out of those negative habits and cultivate the good ones. Here are the 4 stages that we need to go through if we are looking at dealing with our bad habits and cultivating good ones. And I'll give you one example, my personal example, and we'll understand this concept of 4 stages probably pretty well. I speak. All of you heard me speak. All of you seen videos earlier. Some of you have seen me on WhatsApp. Some of you probably met me live and spoken to me. Some of you are watching me live on our Facebook live sessions now. So I speak. I've been a speaker for a couple of years now, and I try to share this wisdom that I've learned with the world. Now, when I started giving talks, I got into this bad habit. At least I think it's a bad habit. I mean, others may be doing it, so I'm not being judgmental about it. But I feel for a public speaker, it's not good to use certain words repeatedly. I do that even now, some other words. But then I used to keep saying, right, 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 Like I would say 2 lines. So we have to deal with this 4 stages of the habits, right? And we are cultivating this good habits in this Facebook Live session, right? And I'm really happy to be with all of you, right? And I was constantly kind of saying, right. Now the first stage of dealing with this is called unconscious incompetence. Incompetence means I'm not competent enough to speak because I'm making a mistake. I'm constantly making a mistake. I have a bad habit. I'm constantly saying right. That's my incompetence. But, so I don't know how to speak rightly, but I don't even know that I don't know. That's called unconscious incompetence. Incompetence means I cannot do, and unconscious incompetence means I don't know that I cannot do. For example, someone doesn't know how to ride a bicycle. It's incompetence. He doesn't know how to ride a bicycle, right? But unconscious incompetence means he doesn't even know that he doesn't know that how to ride a bicycle. So from that stage, then we come to the second stage, which is called conscious incompetence. I don't know how to ride a bicycle, but now I know that I don't know how to ride a bicycle. Now I don't know how to speak right. I'm making a mistake, but now I know that I don't know how to speak right. Sometimes we don't know, and we don't know that we don't know. That's called unconscious incompetence. And what's conscious incompetence? We don't know, but at least we have come to know that we don't know. That's the stage for starting to improve. That is the stage where we get the impetus to change and improve. So somebody actually told me, Prabhuji, did you take note? You're constantly saying right in your classes. Somebody said I kept a tally. Those scores, you keep scores like 4 and then you mark 1, 4 and you mark 1. And he said, I heard you talk for 45 minutes and I realized that you had spoken about 38 rights in 45 minutes. I said, my God, which means practically every few seconds I was saying a right. So earlier I wasn't doing it right and I didn't even know that I wasn't doing it right. Conscious incompetence means I knew now that I wasn't doing it right. So now it was time to look at working on it and changing. So this brings us to the third stage. The third stage is called conscious competence. Competence means now you start working on it. Like if I don't know how to ride a bike, now I start working on riding a bike. If I now know that I'm making a mistake of saying right all the time, now I start working on avoiding those rights. But as I'm doing it, I'm extremely conscious of it. So I still remember, it's still in my mind that I'm not meant to say right. So you'll see in the body language, so I'm now talking to you, right? And I'm going to be a little more conscious of it. That's called conscious competence. This is the stage where there's a lot of discomfort. And if we want to improve, we have to learn to embrace discomfort. Ladies and gentlemen, improvement means 2 things. Number 1, of course, hard work. But 2 things in particular. Number 1, the willingness to embrace discomfort. And number 2, the willingness to stand up even if we fail. So when I was like trying to get out of this habit of saying right, I was very conscious, very uncomfortable. I was on stages, giving talks, but now I've become too conscious that I'm not meant to say right. I was uncomfortable. I wasn't in my flow state. I wasn't able to kind of just, very graciously flow with what I had to say. Very conscious. That stage is called conscious competence. And then we come to the last stage. If we are willing to embrace that discomfort, if we are willing to stand up despite our failures and try again and again and again, as many times we fail, we stand up and fight again and try again. That brings us to the 4th stage, which is called unconscious competence. Now we are competent. Now I don't even say a right. I mean, you have heard me and I haven't said a right. Maybe I'm making some other mistakes. You can write in the comment what's the thing I'm repeating now. But I used to say that right. Now that right is gone and I'm not even conscious about it. Competent but unconscious, which is it's become a part of my system now. Ladies and gentlemen, even in dealing with our habits, these are the 4 stages that we have to look at. You have to look at what your bad habit is. Sometimes we don't even know what our bad habit is and we don't know that we don't know. That's called unconscious incompetence. When we identify what our bad habit is, that's called conscious incompetence. We're not dealing with the bad habit now, but at least we know that we have this bad habit. The third stage is called conscious competence, which is where we have now started working on it, making those micro installments, writing a habit journal, and all of what we have discussed is competence. We started working on it. But at this stage we are very conscious about it, very uncomfortable about it. We're going to feel uncomfortable about it. And if we continue doing it, even if we fail, we rise above and continue doing it. We'll come to the last stage, which is called unconscious competence. There'll be one day, and I wish that day comes to you soon, when you'll not even realize that you're doing it right. You'll be in your flow state. That habit will be gone. You'll be competent, but unconsciously competent. It'll sink into your systems. It'll be such a part of your system, you wouldn't even have to worry. I pray and hope that that stage comes to all of you very soon. And therefore, go through these stages. Learn how to embrace discomfort. Stand up and fight back whenever you fail. And one more thing, believe that you can do it. If you don't believe that you can do it, then you will never be able to do it. Trust yourself, trust your soul, trust God, and with these powers with you, go ahead. Hanuman, when he was sitting on the banks of the shores of the ocean, he had completely forgotten the potential he had to cross the ocean. Every monkey was talking to Jambavan, the leader of that contingent, and was telling Jambavan how they can fly across the ocean so many miles, but the ocean was like around 800 miles. And they were saying we can find 100 miles, but the ocean has to cross 800 miles to go and find Sita. Hanuman was the only one who was quiet. He didn't speak anything. He had forgotten his potential. It took a Jambavan to come and remind Hanuman about his potential so that he can believe in himself, so that he can learn how to cross. He knows how to cross. It's within him. But he has to be reminded and facilitated in a way that he can believe in himself and cross that ocean. We all need that Jambavan, that guide, that guru, that mentor, that person who can trust us and help us believe in ourselves. Believe you can and you will do it. If you're starting with I can't, you're never going to be able to do it. Therefore, there are these affirmations, positive affirmations. They're very much necessary when we are dealing with our bad habits, to constantly keep telling us that I can do it. Those two words, I can, are magical. And if we do believe in ourselves and take that journey, I feel it's just a matter of time that we'll cross the ocean of our bad habits and we will be able to reinstate ourselves in what we truly want to do in our lives. I once again want to thank all of you for joining us on the 20th day of our 21 Days Habit Challenge. Wish you all a happy Christmas again and Happy New Year. But I'm going to see you tomorrow for our last day of the 21 Days Habit Challenge. Thank you very much for joining us. April Als, thank you for joining us. Arpan, very happy to have you with us. Misha, thank you for being with us. Venkateshwar, Arati, Shambhu, it was such a pleasure having you with us this morning. Makwana, Milanji, very, very glad that you are with us this morning. Karthik, Govind from Mauritius, thank you for sparing your time and being with us this morning. I wish to thank all of you very much. Have a great day ahead. Thank you. Hare Krishna.